Josh Allen's been criticized for some red zone turnovers. He had 2 interceptions last week as the Bills were moving up and down the field against the Vikings, but Patrick Peterson picked him off twice in the second half, one of them coming in overtime. Here is Josh Allen talking about his habit of trying to do too much at times and what he plans to do to fix it.
Again, I'm just trying to make the best play, and sometimes that's the best play for our team. And, it's that constant, I can make a play, or, I can trust somebody else to make a play that I've battled with my entire football career, and trying to do too much sometimes, and it'll hurt you. So, again, just playing quarterback the right way and the smart way, and, again, allowing our guys to make plays in space and not always trying to force the ball downfield, and just getting back to that.
Peter, we bookended the 2 Vikings stars from Sunday. You spoke to Justin Jefferson. I spoke to Patrick Peterson. And the thing I took away from Peterson was they're starting to pick things up in the film. They're getting a little too predictable. They aren't staying ahead of the curve. Yeah. They know what the book is on Josh Allen when he breaks the pocket. They know what to look for. They know the tendencies. Even though he's going off schedule, the problem is you go off schedule enough, you develop tendencies. And that's what Patrick Peterson and others surely are picking up on.
Yeah, the one thing about this game, Mike, and I'm unfortunately I had to rely on highlights, being in a hotel room 5,000 miles away. But the one thing that I thought in this game is that on those 2 throws, that was Josh Allen as a rookie. And he wants to make a play so bad. And you just heard him talk about it. It's how he battles with his inner self sometimes. And one of the reasons why I am not at all worried about Josh Allen, 0 worries whatsoever. You cannot play the position for a year and a half at the level he has played at until the last 2 weeks. You cannot play at that huge, high, vaunted, great level of football for such a long period of time, and you have 2 bad games. Say, whoa, Josh Allen, big trouble now. He's going to have trouble coming back from this. He is not. He's going to be fine, and he's going to be great. And look, it would still be a matter of discussion if you said to me, you're starting a franchise right now. Who's your quarterback for the next 10 years? Be tough between Mahomes and Josh Allen. I'd probably take Mahomes. But if Mahomes has a hangnail and they say, well, he might be hurt. Okay, give me Josh Allen and I'll be fine. I just don't have, because he self-polices. Okay? In the offseason, when he works out with Jordan Palmer always takes what he needs to be better at, and they drill and drill and drill and drill. And I'm sure Ken Dorsey does the exact same thing once he gets to training camp. So I think this worry about Josh Allen, I'd be worried about him, say for this week, whether it might happen again in a close game late. Maybe it will. But for the long term, I have 0 worries about Josh Allen.
Well, and we've seen some similarities, I think, between Allen and Mahomes as it relates to becoming intoxicated by the uncanny skills that they have and wanting to use them. Yeah. Mahomes wanting to get the ball down the field to Tyreek Hill. And part of the maturation process for a young quarterback with this incredible set of God-given skills is to teach them when to use them responsibly and when to not excessively rely upon them. And part of the problem may be the Bills are excessively relying upon Josh Allen and not being sufficiently creative in structuring plays, calling plays like Andy Reid does with Patrick Mahomes. That's the key. When you've got this great talent, it increases the obligation of the coaching staff to use it the right way. And it can't just be, in Josh we trust. There has to be more than that when you get to these moments where you need your guy to make a big throw, and he needs to be listening to that voice in his head, especially on that last one, the one that ended the game. Well, I don't know what he was trying to do there. Now, Peterson said
there were no Buffalo Bills. Nobody was close.
I mean, and And it's almost like he threw it right to Patrick Peterson. I mean, it would have been a hell of a throw
Mike,
to thread that needle, but the aim point was too low and too far to the right.
But, Mike, this is what I found myself thinking, okay? So let's just say, like it's second down right here. So you now have 2 plays to convert, okay? You don't have just one. You have 2 plays to convert. That's what drove me crazy about this play. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing about it is that nobody wants to tie. I get it. And, a tie is some evil language. But what would you rather be right now, 6-2-1 or 6-3? I mean, seriously, what would you rather be, 6-2-1 or 6-3? And so, obviously, you'd rather be 6-2-1. And the game was set up for them, even if they fail on the next 2 plays. The game is set up for Tyler Bass to come in, kick a chippy, and for them to, have to stop Minnesota for what? They'd get the ball back with, 40 seconds to go. I don't even know what. But they were set up to tie that game at the worst. And so that would bug me. That would really, really bug me if I were the Bills right now. And that's the thing that I'd leave the game just basically saying the worst alternative is to lose. It's not a great alternative to tie, but it sure as hell is better than losing.
Let me say this, as somebody who rode the entire roller coaster in the fourth quarter and overtime, with all the ups and downs and twists and turns, and the ride keeps going even when you think it should be over, that game had to have a winner and a loser. That game just cosmically could not have ended in a tie. Too much stuff happened in that game from really the 2-minute warning.
Well, you could also make
for
the
there
point,
not to be
Mike,
a winner.
You could also make the point that both teams deserved to come out of there with something in this game, or you could also make the point neither team deserved to win in this game, especially after Josh Allen fumbles the snap from Mitch Morse at the goal line, which that is a play. I need the Zapruder film on that play because I still don't understand. I saw it very grainy. And Mike, I don't know if you've actually looked at this a few times. I looked at it like 5 times. I can't figure out why Josh Allen fumbled that snap. It looked like it was right there.
On consecutive snaps in that game, in critical moments, they used our idea of not quite the way we constructed it 2 weeks ago, but the idea of taking full advantage of the rule that allows someone to push the ball carrier. C.J. Ham tried to push Kirk Cousins into the end zone on the play that fell short, and Gabe Davis was in motion, and he stopped right behind Josh Allen. And maybe that's the thing to look for in the Zapruder film. Was that act of Gabe Davis trying to push Josh Allen? Did that happen? And here it is. You'll see him come in from the right, and the idea is Allen gets the ball and Gabe Davis pushes him. It's not like he started pushing him before he got the ball, so forget about that thing. The whole thing, it just doesn't make sense. And it may be as simple as Mitch Morse freaked out because he knew he was going to get killed from every possible direction as soon as he snapped the ball.
I mean, it could be. But I also have to hand it to the Vikings for not just saying, for not just basically giving the Bills the easy snap, kneel down, whatever it would have been, okay? Because at that moment in time, you've got to figure, this is it. That's it. And the fact that Minnesota, whoever it was, I don't think it was Eric Kendricks, but whoever dove over the top, I mean, that's a football team right there. That is a team that says, hey, listen, we will do anything humanly possible to win. That's a team you want to root for.
It was the Greg Schiano move under situations where it is acceptable. that's the moment where you do it. Not out at the 20, but you do it in that spot because they had to move the ball off the point. If it had been a safety, they would have gotten the ball with a chance to win it with a field goal. It was just amazing. Just one of the many crazy, kooky moments that happened in that game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.